repressed feelings that he has been having for a while.
I mean,
there's no way.
Yeah,
there's no way that the Dama can make him feel these things unless he was already feeling them, because she doesn't know his at-home situation.
Right.
She can't force him to think your mother was never there for you, even though she was there, because she doesn't know. She doesn't know any of this. So you're probably right. It could be she gave him the power to realize that it's okay to think these things.
Yes, that is what I truly do believe, because when you think about it from Herschel's point of view, I don't know how old he is. Let's say he's 16. For all 16 years of his life, the old world has made his mother miserable and distant and cold and detached. So why would he try to bring back something that causes so much pain for his mom?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, no, that's a really good point. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, because now Herschel is off on his own.
Yes, and he's going to find out that his North Star is extinguished, and what happens next. And what happens when he finds out that inadvertently / purposefully, like, okay, let's say that Herschel has adopted the Dama as his surrogate mother, and Glenn is his father. So now Negan's responsible for both of his parents' deaths, quote unquote, if the Dama is a surrogate mother. Is that going to make him super angry at Negan and like finally give him a legitimate reason to want to kill him?
Here's the thing. I honestly don't think Herschel is that mad at Negan to begin with.
I don't either, but I think that they want us to feel that he is. I don't think he is, but I feel like the storytelling has told us to believe that Herschel is conflicted about wanting to kill Negan or something about that. Like when I think back to the Tallgrass episode, maybe episode 4, and the fact that Herschel had the gun pointed right at him and purposefully missed. Like, he's a good enough shot. I bet he could have not missed that poorly. I'm brought back to that moment of conflict and wondering, what were they telling us there? What do you think of that?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, and that's just it. I mean, we've heard Herschel tell Maggie, like, he never, like, this whole thing about Negan killing Glenn and you having issues with this and you not being able to get over this is on you. I never met him.
Right.
Like to resent Negan for what he did. So I think that whole scene with Herschel pointing the gun at Negan and pulling the trigger and missing the shot was purely because of what Maggie instilled in him. He's never developed his own opinion on any of this. Yeah. It's always just been what's been thrown at him and what's been, fed to him by Maggie, who now he resents Maggie as well, which I'm sure conflicts his thoughts on Negan. So I don't know. It's
how could it not? And yep. It's again, there are pieces of the storytelling here that are really, really, really good. Mm-hmm. And the Herschel Maggie dynamic and what it did this week and all of that really evolved. And again, we talked about it a little bit ago, but by narrowing the focus and the scope of the show again and bringing it to be much more compact and much more together, we're able to have really, really good character developing storylines and story beats, and we're able to finally have mystery. We have time to have mystery because we're not cramming 8 different groups of storylines into one episode. And I'm really excited to see what keeps happening, because the Herschel stuff, fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, especially now that we've been getting all this great stuff from the Herschel storyline, and as many people have said through feedback and such, how it's the most intriguing part of the season. We've been following along with Herschel being present in the story, but now we're moving to a new phase where it becomes even more intriguing because now Herschel's not there.
Yep.
He's gone. He is off. He's looking for the Dama. Nobody knows where he is at this point, because we get at the end of this episode, Maggie goes to Negan because that's where she thinks. It's not necessarily going to Negan. It's going to where Negan is.
It's going to the one person in the city that that you can get information from that might know something. Well, more than anything, I think it's her one friend in the city.
Well, I don't even think it's that. I don't even think she intentionally went to Negan. It just happens that Negan happens to be there because that's where the Dama was supposed to be. And it just so happens that she sees Negan, walks out of the building because of all of this. I don't think she went there intentionally looking for Negan.
No, I would agree emphatically. But before we get to the Negan and Maggie scene, what do you say we rewind and explain how we got here with Negan? We are 47 minutes into the recording. I don't know what it's going to be on the playback, but we have not talked about Negan and the Croat and all that yet. And I think it's time we switch. What do you think?
I'm totally fine with that, because this is a big switch for this series, for this series, for this dynamic between these characters. And I praise you for keeping spoilers under control.
It was so hard
yesterday.
It was not the easiest thing in the world, back, because I knew so much.
Because when we recorded last night on episode 5, I had said, like, I want to see, like, Negan take control, and but this is going to be a different Negan. He's not going to be the Negan of old who ran the sanctuary before. There's going to be a new sanctuary. And it feels like in this episode, that is actually exactly what we're heading towards. That whole conversation, and I know this is getting a little ahead of going back to the beginning with Negan, but that whole conversation between Negan and Ben in Negan's cell was so fucking, I don't even know what to say about it. Like, when he says in that conversation, it wasn't the out, and I'm paraphrasing, but he brought people in to try and save them, but what they needed to be saved from was already there.
Yes.
Meaning himself.
And damn it, Ben, we're going to get to my thoughts on that, because again, you and I are going to have different opinions, and it's a great,
okay.
I'm hoping the storytelling benefits the story. So essentially we start with Negan inspecting the dead Dama, and the Croat telling him what happened. I have to wonder, did someone stab her in the back of the head before, or was she going to turn, or did she burn away from turning? I don't know how that works. I don't think you can burn away from turning. I remember the people in Atlanta fused into the pavement. So I'm guessing somebody stabbed her in the back of the head. But in case anyone was wondering, I already thought that through for you. You're welcome. But I really, really thought that the Croat was going to figure out faster that Negan was behind the death of the rat than he did. What about you? Because like that whole scene, I thought he already knew. And it took me until the second viewing to really appreciate what happened in that scene, and Negan asking essentially for his freedom, and the Croat saying, yeah, dude, I don't give a shit. Go ahead. Whatever.
No, I think the timing fit. Okay. I don't think it was rushed, and I don't think it was too slow. I think the timing was actually pretty good, because you're right. We get that scene where, Negan says to the Croat, like, okay, so what does this mean for me? And, Croat's like, no, you lived up to, you did your part. You lived up to it. You're free. Your family's going to be here tomorrow. You can stay. You can go.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want to do. And I actually liked that, because
humanity. We
questioned last week as to what the Croat's feelings were. Well, I say last week, meaning last week's episode. It was actually last night. But sure. We questioned his relationship with Negan, and I actually like that too, because there's a lot that plays into that. By Negan asking him, what does this mean for me? Negan could have said, okay, I'm done now.
Yep.
But instead he asks.
He did.
Which shows respect to the Croat. Like, that made the Croat feel like, guess what, buddy? You're in charge now. People are going to turn to you, not me. And I think that was always Negan's intention. Like, what do you think?
So here's my question to you. And this is something I thought while I was watching the episode. But last week when Negan was needling the Croat with the stuff about the Dama, I thought he was just needling him. But as I watched this week's episode, I actually think there was genuine care in, like, I feel like Negan does care about the Croat, and he didn't appreciate the way that the Dama was treating him, and he did think that he deserved more. And I want to know what you think about their actual friendship, because I got a sense today that for all of the Croats' weaknesses, these are some dudes that went through some shit together, and they were kind of sharing a smoke, and like, I don't know, I thought the friendship was real. What do you think?
No, I'm with you. I actually do think it was real as well, because when we get that, well, another one of the oh shit moments from this episode, with the boot, exactly, when Negan is lying back and he's got his feet up and Croat sees the boot.
Yep.
I legit said, oh shit.
I went, fuck.
Yep. And then that's when it clicks with the Croat, and he's like, you fed me all of that about the rat. The Croat realizes in that moment that Negan turned him on the Dama. Yep. And Negan legitimately is like, no, like, I saved you. And
he's right.
I made you realize what was actually happening, and I let you take control. And you're right. He was right. He was actually saving him, to the point where when they start to fight, Croat runs for Lucille and turns her on, and like, Negan's taken a couple hits. When he gets him back, the old Negan, Croat was dead.
Yes. This guy was hurt. This Negan saw the monster that he created, felt responsible, and I guess that's where I wanted to know about what you thought about the Negan and the Croat of it all. It's what level of culpability is he now accepting for what's going on now? Does he feel like the Barazzi are his children because he created the Croat and he failed the Croat, and the Croat created the Barazzi, and now he has to protect the Barazzi? Like, what's going through Negan's head? Which I know is a tall question to ask.
I didn't go that far. Okay. I never, thinking wise, I never went as like, oh, the Croat created the Barazzi, and because Negan created the Croat, it's because I don't honestly believe, as much as they say in that scene, you know, like, I created you. I'm the reason why you are the way you are. I don't know if I buy that, because the story that we got from season 1, when we got Stephen O come back for the flashback, the Croat was already crazy.
Yes.
Negan just made him a different kind of crazy. So I don't know if I buy Negan made him who he is, or he's responsible for who he is.
Okay.
I think maybe they believe that simply because they spent that much time together, but I don't necessarily believe that is the truth.
Okay. Or maybe you could even argue that Negan's saying that this current ideation of the Croat, with the swagger and with the Barazzi that are essentially the Savers, like, he made this version of him, not all the pieces, but the costume that he's wearing, the Negan costume he's wearing, that's what Negan made.
Okay, that I can definitely see.
Because let me ask you this. I lost my train of thought. It was right there.
That's
swear
fine.
to God, it's going to come back, and it's going to be great, because
I get
a really good point. But
going back to my earlier point, when that fight ends and Croat has clearly taken a couple hits of his own at this point, because Negan was able to get control of Lucille. Again, if this was the old Negan, Croat was dead.
Up. Yes.
He was lined up. He was taking a bashing to the head, and he was done. But instead, he banishes him. He says, just don't come back. Like, he lets him go.
He does. But if Negan didn't feel responsible for what happens to the Barazzi, why didn't he leave with Annie and Joshua? Why did he stay?
Because Negan, he even says this when he's talking to Maggie. Negan feels like he is cursed to always fall into these situations where somebody is going to force him to do things he doesn't want to do, or force him to be a person he just doesn't want to be anymore. And he doesn't want to put that on Annie and Josh. Annie and Josh are better off without him in his life, because if they can get to him, they can get to them. And clearly that's already been established, because the Dama was able to get to them. Yep. They knew they were in Tennessee. She brought them to Tennessee. He is, as heartbreaking as it is, he's better. He knows they are better off without him.
That's true. And I guess go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I don't think the Croat situation and banishing the Croat and the Annie and Josh situation, I don't feel are connected. I think they are, and they're conflicted. They're conflicted in the sense of Negan's inner struggle with himself and the person that he is.
And this is where I'm going to go right back on my soapbox that I love so much.
Sure.
In that I think it would be a very, very daring choice and a great choice if what this did was it turned Negan into someone that was self-imploding, that he was so upset with himself by how everything, that he slipped right back into Savior Negan because he had so much self-loathing, he turned into the worst version of himself. And I think that would be dynamic storytelling. I don't think it's going to happen, but they did kind of set breadcrumbs if they want to go down that road.
I agree with you. That would be dynamic storytelling. I don't see that happening at all for two main reasons. One, again, that speech that he has with Ben.
Let's talk about that scene a little bit. He knows in that scene, that whole, like I said, when he says, again, paraphrasing, that the thing they should have been protected from was inside with them. Yep.
He knows who he used to be and how bad of a person that was. And I can, like, you know, the fact that he's screwing with Ben, he's playing jokingly friendly playing with him, like, not like
teasing him.
Yeah, he's teasing him a little bit, making him think he's really the bad guy, but he's not. And I can see there being a situation where he again is forced to be a person that he doesn't want to be if it comes down to Negan and the Barazzi versus Bruegel and his gang, because then it's for the sake of survival.
Yes.
I can see that. And I could see, even with that speech with Ben, I could even see, like, okay, he knows who he was, so he might have to go back to that before, especially because of the fact that he sent Annie and Josh away. It kind of opens him up to do that. Even that, I could say, okay, I can see where you're coming from. It's dynamic storytelling to make Negan kind of self-implode and go back to who he was. The thing that makes me convinced that it's not going to happen is the final scene of this episode with Ginny. When Ginny collapses in front of him.
He's a broken man. And
he embraces her. He has something again.
Humanity. He has humanity again.
In that moment, you can, with no words being spoken, the smile of gratefulness and happiness and relief when he sees Ginny, even though she's pointing a gun at him, speaks volumes about how happy he is to see her, regardless of the situation. And when she collapses and he embraces her, it's almost as it's comforting.
Yes.
He was feeling so lost before he walked out of that theater, because he had just sent Annie away. He had just sent Josh away. You know, he had that conversation with Maggie. I do think he legitimately felt broken and lost more so than ever before. Ginny brought him back. Just seeing him brought him back.
And I'm really excited to see, as you know, King George said, what comes next. We got 2 episodes left?
Holy 2 episodes left. Yeah.
So we got so I am a whore for a good penultimate episode, and
me too.
Really excited to see what they do, because with the pieces that are in play, let's set the stage for what we even have left to do. So we got Ginny with Negan, we got the Croat on his own, we got Maggie looking for Herschel looking for Dama, and we got Pearlie and Bruegel doing their mustache twirling things, right? Is that pretty much where the stage is?
I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty clear. I mean, we've got. I mean, it's going to be interesting because, again, looking to the future, even though we haven't seen the episode yet, if you look at the coming attractions, there's a new interesting dynamic that I don't think we ever predicted happening. That's going to be happening next episode.
I forget what was on the coming attractions.
It's Maggie and Croat.
Yes, and I am really so here's the thing about the Croat. First off, I love him, and second off, I don't want him to go anywhere. I want him to be a complicated individual. I want him to be the Ben Linus of this show, man.
I so knew you were going to say Ben Linus. I so knew it. I knew it.
But he has that potential, man. Like, he's smart as hell. The dude figured out how to turn zombies into methane, okay? The guy is a smart cookie.
So I'm glad you said that, because that, to me, was the only issue I had with Negan banishing the Croat.
Yes. You lost your scientist.
You lost your scientist. He is the one who is responsible for coming up with this technology for producing or capturing the methane that the walkers produce, that is giving you the power that you have, both in like electricity power and power.
Yes.
And you just let him, you just kicked him out.
And it's weird. And if it's a power struggle, then why? Or was it a self-preservation, like, banish the Croat before the Croat can kill me or something? Like, why couldn't you just have him as a number 2? Probably couldn't trust him. I don't know, but I'm intrigued to see what happens when the Croat mixes with Maggie and what comes from that. And what happens when Herschel sees Maggie working with the Croat? Like, is he gonna be like, Mom, why do you just hate me so much?
Well, and because I have a feeling, because Negan tells Maggie, if he's anywhere that the Dama would have been, it's
the church.
It's the church at 45th and 6th or 46th and 5th, whatever it was. Yeah. And I have a feeling that's also where the Croat is going. When he got banished, it's a comforting area for him too, sense. Because he has that same relationship with the Dama.
Yep.
So he's going to go to where another place that he knows that he's comfortable with because of the Dama. And that's where he's going. That's where the Croat is going to.
It makes sense, and it makes sense that's honestly where the head is headed, and where the next stage of the evolution of the storytelling is going to go. I mean, so let's think here. Bruegel wants to eliminate Negan and the Barazzi so that he can steal the methane. Pearlie is along for the ride because LOL blackmail. Again, Maggie's looking for Herschel, and she's going to do so with the Croat. And we got 2 episodes left. I'm really excited to see where we go from here, because there's a lot of things at play. I don't know what we're going to do about our dearest Ginny and her horrible infection. I don't know if they have penicillin or Z-Pack, and I don't think Z-Pack.
Well, it looks like they also go to a hospital at some point in the next episode as well.
Okay.
So I have a feeling we're going to see a little bit of a breakaway with Negan trying to save Ginny. But I mean, the other thing we have to mention as well too is that Maggie at this point is insistent on leaving. Like, yes. Their whole plan before Herschel went off on his own was, regardless of what happens next, they're going home. They're going back to the bricks.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But Maggie is literally the only one in the party that wants to do that. Herschel doesn't want to. Ginny doesn't want to. Negan's not gonna. So I know that that's what Maggie wants, but it's almost so. It's hard to tell. Is it selfish for her to want to do that with everyone when she's the only one that wants to do it? But it's also the safest bet of all the other options. Like, it's safer than New York City. So
I don't think it's selfish at all. I think it's for protection for her and Herschel. Yeah, preservation. Okay. Exactly.
All right, cool.
This is not her war. She has nothing to do with the methane. She is not there to claim it. She went to the city because she was forced to by New Babylon, and Herschel went with her, and now she just wants to get her and Herschel home. And she doesn't care what happens to Negan. She doesn't care what happens in the war for the city. It's not her war.
But it is because she's a part of New Babylon, because New Babylon took over their land by force, essentially, like with treaty, but still. So it is like she wants to go back to the BRICS, but as of right now, the BRICS is still a New Babylon supported settlement. So whether it's her war or not, she's in it. She's playing the game now, just like what Brogel said to Pearlie. One way or another, buddy, you're in the game now. Maggie can't just leave. She's in the game now. She has to accept, I'm in the game. I got to fight in this war, or else there is no resolution.
I don't know if I buy that, because
you don't think so?
No, because then what's Maggie's purpose?
If Maggie, that she's always been, but she hasn't. Who is she leading?
Exactly, who is she leading?
New Babylon.
She has nobody to lead.
But what if she? You're right, because she's not asking for that position, and she has not. But she could, because Pearlie's not a leader. Pearlie's a hell of a follower. Pearlie is one of the best followers you're ever going to find. I am not believing that Pearlie is a leader. No one else in that party is a leader except for Maggie. And I think that matters. And I think that's one of those, like, this is her dark days of Bruce Wayne before she realizes I am the Batman and it's okay to be the Batman. Like, I still think Maggie's going to unlock, and she's just treading water until that moment happens. She's getting badass. It's going to happen.
I don't know.
I hope so, at least.
I don't see.
We'll see. Time will tell.
I don't see a place for Maggie in this war. I really don't. Okay. She never wanted the methane. Nope. She worked with Babylon against her will. So, I mean, and I don't think she ever has any intention of going back and taking her city back either. I think she just wants her biggest objective is to get Herschel home.
Yes, I agree with you. Her objective is to just get back to normalcy. I don't think her destiny is that, though. That's what I'm saying. Her destiny is not to stay out of this fight, no matter how badly she wants to. I don't know. I'm a once upon a time guy. It's not in her destiny.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Out. I mean, we have 2 more episodes left, and of this season, we didn't talk about this last night when we recorded episode 5, but there is rumor out there that seasons 3 and 4 are actually going to begin filming back to back.
Yes.
And could potentially be the final 2 seasons of the series. So that's still rumor at this point. We don't know if that's actually going to happen. There has been no official announcement of the 3rd season yet. I have a feeling we'll probably get something closer to the end of the season.
Absolutely. I could see it being a tag at the season finale of like Negan and Maggie will return in Dead City seasons 3 and 4 or something like that.
What do you think? This is Marvel?
Well, they want to be. Anyone that's building a franchise these days is just doing the Marvel model, but with their own flourish on it. It's just a different skin.
True. That's very true.
And you know what? Marvel did it like they gave you the roadmap, so why not use it? You know?
That's true.
If you got the GPS, use it.
Hey, we have seen Jeffrey and Lauren in DC, so
we have.
And funnily enough, as you made the reference, they were Batman's parents.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Damn.
They were Bruce Wayne's
circle, folks.
They were Bruce's parents in what was it, BVS, I think? Batman vs Superman?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Cohan were Bruce's parents.
Out of curiosity, who has died more on screen, Bruce's parents or Uncle Ben? We've had a lot of both deaths.
I'm going to say we're wrapping up our conversation, folks. So it's okay that we're doing this. I actually think it's. I think it's Wayne and Martha.
I think it's the Waynes.
Yeah, I think it's the Waynes.
I think it is too, because we only get Martin Sheen and then the Tobey Maguire.
Yes,
we didn't get the Tom Holland one.
No, Tom Holland was Aunt May.
Right, which was still pretty damn powerful.
Was the one that died. Oh. Speaking of, sorry, now we're off on a tangent.
You're welcome, folks.
I love that movie, No Way Home.
Oh, so good.
And I remember being in theater opening weekend for that movie.
Yep.
And when Marissa Tomei, who is amazing as Aunt May, when she says the words, with great power come great responsibility,
buckets.
The theater erupted in cheer. Yes. And as the pure comic book fan that I am, I'm like, why are you people cheering? Like, do you not realize this Aunt May is about to die? Like,
right.
Why are you cheering? I get that we heard like the iconic words, but it now means
goodbye.
Her time is coming. Like,
but thankfully it's the multiverse, so nothing and everything is in play.
Yeah. Spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen No Way Home at this point.
If you haven't seen No Way Home at this point, that's on you, not us.
Yeah, it's been a good amount of time. Any final notes on this episode?
Honest to goodness, again, I just want to give Lauren Cohen all of the props for an amazingly directed episode. I thought what she did with some of the looks of the bear scene was really, really impressive. I thought that she did a good job of using tone and lighting, and when she showed the relationship between the Croat and Negan, especially the direction of those scenes and the camera work there was really inspired. So Lauren Cohen, again, 2 hats off and all the accolades. Phenomenal job directing this episode.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to just kind of mirror that as well, because you're right. There's so much. She did a great job of capturing the tension of that bear scene.
Yes.
There is actually a good amount of emotion in this episode. I talk about the end scene with Ginny and how Jeffrey was able to really portray a ton of like relief and happiness and comfort without saying a word, in just the actions of the look on his face seeing Ginny and then the embrace of Ginny when he picks her up after she collapses. This episode is so much better than last week's episode, and her directorial debut is because of that.
I'll be honest with you. As I was watching it a second time today, I thought to myself, is this one of my favorite episodes of Dead City so far? And it might be.
Okay.
Of the entire, this was a really, really good episode because it was so tight and it was so insular, and it really just moved the story forward. Again, I am blown away by, and I wonder if Jeffrey Dean Morgan's performance, which was top notch this week, was extra charged because his friend Lauren Cohen was making her directorial debut. I wonder if, I'm just asking questions about the psyche of an actor in those moments. Do you think Negan or Jeffrey extra brought it because he knew that like he really wanted to perform for his friend Lauren? I don't know, because he really crushed it this episode.
I think that's definitely the case. I think like, hey, like this is your directorial debut. I'm going to do everything I can to make this shine.
Yep. 100%. And crushed it. Did the job.
Yeah. I agree with you completely. Before we go into wrapping things up too, we don't do this often, but I wanted to make a recommendation to people for something else to check out. But it's in relation to this show because of the actor involved. I've been a Survivor fan for years, and I've watched particular seasons of The Amazing Race and things like that. If you haven't seen it, there's a new show that just started a couple weeks ago called Destination X.
Ooh.
And it is hosted by Jeffrey. It's hosted by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. It's an NBC show, so it's available on Peacock or on NBC, depending on how you want to watch it. And I watched it initially because I've met Jeffrey, I've worked with Jeffrey at shows and things like that. So anytime I become cordial with people like that, I want to support them in what they do. So I'm like, this is a new show that Jeffrey's hosting. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to check it out just to support him. I am so sucked into this show. It is ridiculous. I don't know if you know the premise of the show.
Yes, it is a Survivor / Amazing Race in which Jeffrey gets to mess with them.
It's kind of like an Amazing Race meets Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Hell yes. That's my bag.
Because he
is Carmen Sandiego.
He really almost kind of is.
I love it.
He takes them to they cut off all their senses. Like, they wear these goggles so they can't see where they're going. They're on a bus that has no outside view of anything. And he just puts them in the middle of nowhere, somewhere in Europe, and gives them tasks and trivia to give them clues to try and find out where they are. And then at the end, they have to put their X on a map where they think they are at that point from all the clues and the games and the tasks and everything. And the person furthest away on the map is the one that's eliminated.
Oh, that's good.
But it's so good because he's a charming host. The trivia is really great. I've enjoyed playing along because I'm really into history too. Nice. And there's a lot, they give a lot of history to the places that they're at. Like, the first city they were in was Rome. Then they were in Geneva for the second episode. I haven't watched the third episode yet because I'm still getting caught up from my Rhode Island weekend. But I'll probably watch it tomorrow. So I don't know where they are for the third episode. But if you're a fan of Jeffries, if you're a fan of kind of like Amazing Race kind of stuff, and you have the accessibility to watch it either on NBC or Peacock, check out Destination X. I'm really, really enjoying it.
Hell yeah. I'm excited to check it out for sure.
Bit James Gale Eunice.
What does it mean to live for the common good? Introducing the Garrison Institute presents The Common Good, the brand new podcast from the Garrison Institute, a leading not-for-profit